Before you scroll away, take a breath. This moment isn't random. You didn't find this video by accident. God has a word for you right now. Through every doubt, every delay, every prayer you thought went unheard. He's been listening, and today he speaks. So lean in. Let his voice find you exactly where you are.
My beloved, before you wonder where this path leads or whether your soul will find what it seeks, let me whisper this truth into the depth of your being. This month will not pass you by unchanged. There is a stirring in the heavens, a quiet movement where angels pause, listening for your voice, for your faith to rise once more like the morning sun that refuses to hide behind night's veil. You may not have seen it yet, but miracles are already making their way to you, walking silently with purpose, directed by my command and carried by the breath of my promise. I've watched you. In the stillness when no one saw, I saw you. In your most uncertain hours, I stood over you like a fortress, shielding you from what could have shattered you. Every tear you thought went unnoticed, I counted it. Each sigh you released into the dark, hoping someone might hear, I heard every one. You are not forgotten. You never were. There has not been a single day where you slipped out of my sight. I have surrounded you with my presence like sunlight wraps the earth. Not just in moments of clarity, but especially in those shadowed by doubt. You felt lost, perhaps, or weary. Perhaps life has thrown questions at you that seem to have no answer. But I tell you this now, not with thunder or trembling, but in the gentle weight of truth, that every step you took, even the ones you regret, were not wasted. I've used them all. I've redeemed what seemed broken. Your journey has not been in vain. I've been writing a masterpiece with your life, and though you only see a few strokes at a time, I see the whole canvas. And what I see is stunning. You wonder when your breakthrough will come. You ask, sometimes silently, Lord, have you heard me? My answer is not delayed. It's precise. The timing of heaven is never hasty, never late. While you waited, I was building. While you prayed, I was shaping blessings far greater than you imagined. The delay was never denial. It was preparation for you, for the people I'm sending your way, for the places I'll take you that will require more than surface strength. You needed to be fortified from within, and so I allowed some storms, not to break you, but to bend you gently toward my light. Do not be alarmed by the battles you face. I've equipped you. What you see as obstacles, I see as training. The weapons formed against you will not prosper because I am the one who forged your spirit with divine resilience. Your faith, though sometimes trembling, has power beyond what you grasp. With it, you've moved mountains already, even if you haven't noticed. Faith is not measured in how loudly you speak, but in the quiet resolve that holds on when everything says, let go. You've held on, and I am proud of you. Let me speak to your thoughts, the ones that haunt you late at night. No, you're not behind. You're not a failure. You haven't missed your moment. I don't measure success as the world does. What they count in followers, I count in faithfulness. What they crown in gold, I crown in grace. You're walking a sacred path. Your pace is right on time with my plan. Stop looking sideways. Stop comparing. You're not called to their journey. Yours is lined with wonder that hasn't yet been revealed. But it will be, and soon. I am not just sending you blessings. I am making you into one. Your presence will bring peace into rooms. Your words will restore hope into hearts that had forgotten how to dream. The same comfort I've poured into you in the secret place, you will carry outward into your world. Do not underestimate what I can do through a surrendered soul. The size of your faith is not in how loud it shouts, but how fully it trusts, even when the answers aren't immediate. And yours has been trusting. I've seen it. This is a holy season, set apart. Guard your heart from noise, from distractions pretending to be direction. Tune your spirit to my voice, because I am speaking more clearly than ever before. I'm not speaking to the crowd. I'm speaking to you. Yes, you who've questioned if you're really chosen. You who've wondered if your prayers still carry weight. I tell you they do. Each word you've offered me in love, I've received. And not a single syllable has fallen to the ground. This month is sacred because you are stepping into a space where what you've planted in faith will begin to rise. It will come subtly at first, an unexpected call, a long-awaited opportunity, a door you thought was sealed. But when it does, you'll know. You'll feel the shift. Heaven doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it moves in like a breeze, gentle but unmistakable. That's how my blessings will come. Not to cause a spectacle, but to bring you into alignment with who I've always known you were. I've placed inside you dreams you're afraid to speak aloud. But I know them. I placed them there. Don't be afraid of them anymore. Don't call them too big. I am the one who called the universe into being. Do you think I cannot fulfill what I've spoken over you? Rest in my promise. Your dreams are safe with me. Not all will understand them. That's okay. They were never meant to validate what I do in your life. I am enough. My word is enough. And when I move, it will be undeniable. So stay with me. Walk with me. Speak with me in the quiet corners of your day. Let your heart lean in even when your mind wanders. Let your soul rise in worship, even when your circumstances are unclear. I do not ask for perfect faith, only present faith. A heart that turns toward me, even trembling, is a heart I rush to hold. You are not fragile, you are forming. I am molding you into something heaven applauds, and all of heaven is watching. Remain in expectancy, because the floodgates are opening. And what's coming will not just fill your cup. It will overflow into every area of your life, into your family, into your health, into your finances, into your peace. Prepare. Be ready. Lift your eyes and stretch your hands. I am here, and I am not finished yet. You are still here, and that, my child, means everything. The weight you've carried hasn't crushed you, though at times it tried. The storms you weathered weren't your undoing. They were your unveiling. You have not merely survived. You have emerged. And now, with your eyes turning back to me and your spirit beginning to stir again, I tell you plainly, you were never meant to merely endure. You were meant to rise, to reflect my glory in the midst of a weary world. In the silence, where no applause reaches and no eyes admire, I've been doing my greatest work in you. You've mistaken stillness for stagnation, but what you couldn't see was the deep preparation beneath the surface. Roots growing, foundations forming, depth being forged so that what I'm building in you won't collapse when the blessings come. I am not interested in fleeting favor. I'm shaping a legacy, a life that reflects heaven's heartbeat. This month will require your trust in ways you haven't yet known. I will nudge you to take steps that seem uncertain. I may ask you to release what felt safe, to walk away from places you outgrew while convincing yourself they were enough. But listen closely. Comfort can become captivity when you've been called higher. You were never meant to remain in places that no longer speak life to your spirit. You've stayed long enough. Now I am drawing you forward. You've sensed it already, that holy discomfort, that subtle inner shift that tells you something is changing, even before anything around you moves. That is me, awakening you to the reality that your present cannot hold the fullness of what I'm about to place in your hands. You will not lose yourself in this transition. You will discover yourself. The version of you that was buried beneath disappointment and delay, the one I always saw clearly, is coming forth. And while others may question your steps, let them. You do not need their approval to follow my lead. You are not walking a path for applause, you are walking by obedience. And every step taken in obedience opens doors no man can shut. Your courage may shake, your voice may tremble, but move anyway. You are not moving alone. I go before you, making a way where none existed. And behind you, I've stationed mercy to gather every part of you that's ever been broken and restore it with grace. Let your faith breathe again. It doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to live. Let it stretch like wings and used for too long. You've limited yourself because you thought you had to, because the past trained you to expect little and be grateful for crumbs. But you are a child of the King. I did not teach you scarcity. I am the God of overflow. Lift your expectations. Not out of entitlement, but out of revelation. You belong to me, and I delight in your joy. There are prayers you've whispered that you barely believed I heard. You said them quietly, almost apologetically, unsure if they were too bold. But I loved everyone. I saw the faith it took to speak them. I saw the humility in your asking. and I did not forget. I'm bringing those prayers back to life. Not just answered, but fulfilled in a way that will leave you awestruck. I am the God who exceeds, not merely delivers. You will soon understand what it means to be overtaken by favor. But I ask for something from you. Not payment, not perfection, just your presence. Come to me as you are. Come with your questions. Come with your fatigue. Come even when the fire in you feels like it's barely flickering. I do not require flames, I respond to embers. I am the one who breathes life back into the dim places of your soul. Don't wait until you feel strong. Come broken, come unsure, come tired. But come. That is all I ask. Your prayers do not need eloquence. Speak to me honestly. I don't listen for the right words. I listen for the right heart. And yours has always reached me, even when it's heavy, even when it's confused. I do not turn away from the sound of your soul seeking me. I draw nearer, and in these days I'm drawing nearer still. You will feel it in the quiet, in the unexpected peace, in the way your fears suddenly loosen their grip. That's me. That's my presence. I'm closer than ever. You're not just entering a new season, you're becoming someone new in it. And it won't be forced. You don't have to strive to become what I already declared you are. Let my spirit shape you. Let my word nourish you. Let my love soften the parts of you that grew rigid from survival. You were never meant to build your identity around pain. That season is over. Now I'm covering you in something entirely new. Peace, vision, freedom, and clarity. This is not the time to hide. Don't retreat into the shadows of old habits, familiar regrets, or learned helplessness. I've broken those chains. Let them fall. Let them rust in yesterday while you step into today unburdened. Let your hope return, not timid but vibrant. Let your joy be unshackled. You are not who the past says you are. You are who I say you are. Chosen, cherished, called, and completely loved. And I will show you, not just in blessings but in transformation, in how you think, in how you walk, in how you speak, not with fear, but with purpose. You will feel it. A renewed energy, a fresh inspiration, a sacred fire in your bones. And it won't come from you striving harder. It will come from you surrendering more fully. That is where power begins, not in self-reliance, but in divine dependence. You were never meant to carry it alone. So breathe, beloved. This month is not a repeat of what has been. It is the beginning of something I've long waited to unveil. I am giving you new eyes to see the doors I've placed before you. Not just physical ones, but spiritual, emotional, and relational ones. Watch how they swing open at your arrival. Not because of your strength, but because you walk in my authority. You are stepping into rooms where your name has already been spoken in reverence because I placed it there. Hold on to that. Don't be distracted by who overlooks you. Focus on the one who goes ahead of you. I am not only writing your story, I am revealing it, chapter by chapter, moment by sacred moment. And soon, beloved, you will understand why the wait had to last this long. You've wondered what it would be like to walk without fear, to breathe without the weight of yesterday pressing down on your chest, to step forward without the echo of old failures whispering lies into your mind. Let me show you what that feels like. Not someday, now, because I'm not waiting until your circumstances align. I am moving with you, even when nothing around you seems to shift. The transformation begins inside, and it has already begun. There's a reason you've been feeling that pull, the gentle urging that your time in the valley is nearing its end. It's not wishful thinking. It's my voice calling you upward. You've seen the same patterns long enough. You've walked in circles, thinking perhaps this was all there was. But I never created you to live in cycles of confusion. I designed you to walk in clarity, in purpose, in freedom. And now, like the breaking of dawn, you're starting to see light again. The shadows are lifting. Not because you found a new solution, but because you've returned to me. You don't need to fix everything before coming closer. That's the lie you've believed for too long, that only the flawless are fit to stand in my presence. Yet what draws me is not your perfection, but your openness. I am not put off by your questions. I am not disappointed by your doubts. If you could see how my heart leans in when yours begins to search for me, you would never hesitate again. Your weakness does not repel me, it draws me. For I am the one who brings strength to what is frail and breathes beauty into the dust. So many around you wear masks of strength, but inside they are crumbling. You've tried that mask too. You've smiled while your heart was breaking. You've answered, "I'm fine," with a trembling voice. I saw it all. You don't need to pretend with me. This is where you can be bare and still be fully embraced. Nothing about you shocks me. I've seen your whole story beginning to end, and still I chose you. Still I called you. Still I am speaking to you now. I know the battle that rages inside you. I know how many times you felt not enough. Not strong enough, not spiritual enough, not deserving enough. But let me speak what is true. My grace is enough. You don't earn my love. You receive it. And when you do, it begins to change everything. Not just what you do, but how you see yourself. How you walk into rooms. How you show up for others. You've been trying to earn what I've already given freely. Let go. Let it fall. Let your striving rest in the arms of surrender. What I've placed inside you is holy. That quiet strength, that burning compassion, that desire to love deeply and live meaningfully. It all comes from me. You thought you were ordinary, but you are anointed. You assumed you were forgotten, but I've been weaving your life into a masterpiece, even in the silent seasons. Especially in the silent seasons. That's where roots go deep. That's where your spirit becomes unshakable. You've walked through fire and didn't even realize the refinement taking place. You endured not because you were fearless, but because I stood beside you when you thought you were alone. I've seen you fall to your knees, not in defeat, but in desperate hope. I was there, lifting your head when you couldn't find the strength to look up. And I haven't stopped. In fact, I'm drawing closer than ever. Not with condemnation, but with comfort. Not with accusation, but with affirmation. I still believe in who you are becoming. Do not fear the unknown. It does not frighten me, and you walk with me. When you reach places you've never been, you'll find I've already been there, preparing the way. What looks like uncertainty to you is divine orchestration to me. So release your grip on the illusion of control and open your hands to receive what I've planned. You've been clinging to what you understand, but I'm inviting you into something far greater. Something that requires trust, not certainty. There is more. More than just getting by. More than holding it all together. More than simply making peace with broken dreams. I didn't breathe life into you for survival. I created you for overflow, for laughter that comes from the soul, for connection that heals, for moments that make you weep with gratitude because they're so drenched in grace. That is the life I offer. Not perfect, not easy, but sacred, rich, whole. You're not alone in your longing. Others feel it too. The ache for something real, for a love that doesn't expire, for truth that doesn't shift with opinion. That's why I'm awakening you. Because when you begin to live fully alive in me, others will follow the light that shines from you. You'll be a place of peace in chaotic rooms. A steady presence where others find safety. And it won't be because you tried harder. It will be because you stayed close to me. So if your voice shakes when you speak life, speak it anyway. If your hands tremble when you offer kindness, stretch them out anyway. If your past tries to remind you of who you were, remind it of who you now belong to. I've rewritten your story with grace. You're not the same, and that is worth celebrating. That is worth stepping into. Let your soul be refreshed. Let your mind be renewed. You do not walk in circles anymore. You walk forward, into divine timing, into sacred appointments I've already arranged. You will begin to notice the right people appearing, the right words coming, the right doors unlocking. Not by coincidence, but by my command. This is how I move. Quietly, powerfully, perfectly. And when you feel unworthy of this love, let me remind you, I never asked you to be worthy. I asked you to be willing. And here you are, still listening, still hoping, still showing up. That is enough for me to work with. Watch what I do with a heart that hasn't given up. You are not behind, you are exactly where you need to be. For this moment, for this miracle. You've wondered if you were really seen. If your quiet obedience, your whispered prayers, your hidden tears mattered to anyone, let me tell you this, they moved heaven. While the world applauded what was loud, I watched you be faithful in silence. And that has not gone unnoticed. It's not the spotlight that draws my favor. It's the sincerity. The ones who serve with no audience, who love with no expectation of return, who kneel in secret when others rise in pride. Those are the ones I call my beloved. I know how long you've waited. You've stretched your faith like a sail, hoping for winds of change, but the sea stayed still. And yet you didn't let it fall. You kept believing, even when it hurt, even when it felt like nothing would shift. What you didn't see was how every moment of trust became a brick in the foundation I've been building beneath you. You wanted movement, but I needed depth. And now, because you let your roots grow deep, you will be able to carry what is coming without collapsing under the weight of it. This next season won't look like what came before. The rhythms will change. The people around you will shift. Some will step in, some will step away. Let it happen. You're not losing, you're aligning. You've asked me to guide you, and that means letting go of what doesn't walk with you into your purpose. You don't need to hold everything together. Trust me to be the one who sustains what is meant to remain. You will not walk alone. I'm placing kingdom-minded souls on your path. People who carry light, who speak life, who see the divine in you and call it forth. Don't cling to the past just because it's familiar. You've outgrown some things. That's not disloyalty. That's maturity. The version of you that once needed certain comforts is being reborn into someone who craves truth more than ease, wholeness more than noise, legacy more than applause. That is the transformation I'm bringing. You are becoming someone who walks into every room as a vessel of peace, not needing to prove anything, just carrying presence. You've been fighting battles others don't even see. The invisible wars of self-worth, of shame, of wondering if you'll ever feel fully healed. I know how exhausting it is, but I am your rest, and you're stepping into a time where healing won't be a theory. It will be your testimony. You'll look back at the places that once defined your wounds and realize they no longer sting. You'll visit old memories and find peace where pain used to reside. I don't just bandage, I restore. I don't just patch over, I renew. You will know what it means to be whole again. The words spoken over you in anger, in fear, in ignorance, they have no hold here. I am rewriting the narrative. I'm not using your pain as the final word. I'm using it as the backdrop for a miracle. Even now, I'm dismantling every lie you believed about your worth, your potential, your future. You've thought of yourself in terms of limits, but I created you with limitless potential. And it's time you begin to live like it. No more shrinking. No more hiding behind apologies for existing. Stand tall, not in pride, but in confidence of your calling. There are gifts inside of you you've not yet discovered. Not because they don't exist, but because you've been too busy surviving to explore them. Now the space is opening. The healing is coming. And with it, creativity, clarity, joy. You will begin to dream again, but this time from a place of strength, not scarcity. You'll notice ideas blooming in your mind, ideas you couldn't have invented on your own. That's my spirit at work, planting seeds for a future that will honor me and bless others. What you build will not only prosper, it will heal. It will echo with grace. And when opposition rises, as it will, remember this, your battle is not against people, but against the fear that wants to silence you, the doubt that wants to disarm you. But it won't, because I've given you weapons that are not of this world. Your kindness will be a sword, your humility a shield, your perseverance, armor no darkness can pierce. You do not need to shout to be strong. Your gentleness is powerful because it flows from me. Your light cannot be dimmed by anyone who didn't ignite it. Let this month be sacred. Let it be the moment everything turns, not because circumstances change, but because you do. Because you choose to stop agreeing with the voices of discouragement. Because you decide to believe me more than your history. Because you dare to wake up every morning and say, I'm still here. I'm still listening. I'm still following. That kind of faith moves mountains. And the mountains ahead, they're not obstacles. They're invitations. invitations to trust, to grow, to witness the supernatural. You'll begin to see my fingerprints in places you didn't think I'd touch. Relationships, finances, decisions that once brought anxiety will suddenly carry peace. Not because you've mastered them, but because you've surrendered them. That is your power. Not in controlling everything, but in placing it all in my hands. And in return, I place my peace in yours. Do not grow weary in doing good. I see your efforts, even the ones that seem small, even the ones that go unseen by others. They are seen by me, and I will reward them, not just with external favor, but with internal strength. The kind of strength that allows you to keep going when the answers haven't arrived, when the applause is absent, when the journey feels long. That's where greatness is forged, in the quiet, in the waiting, in the unwavering yes. You are doing better than you think. You are becoming more than you imagined. And I, the one who formed you, am not done. In fact, I'm just getting started. You've been walking, not knowing exactly where the road will lead, but still walking. And that is enough for me to move with power. You see, I never asked you to map the future. I only asked you to take the next step. And you did, even trembling, even questioning, even with a heart that sometimes beats faster from fear than from faith. Still, you moved, and with every step, heaven noticed. With every uncertain yes, I've drawn the path beneath your feet. I do not need your perfection to bless you. I need your permission. I need you to say yes to what I've already written, to open your heart to the plan I've been forming long before the pain began. The world told you to be strong, to hold it together, to never show the cracks. But I tell you, let the cracks show. Let the light pour through. You do not need to be flawless to be faithful. You need only be willing. And beloved, you've already proven that you are. There's a hunger in you that others don't understand. A longing that keeps pulling you out of empty spaces. That ache is not weakness. It's your spirit recognizing that this world isn't your home. You were made for something more. Not more things, not more status, but more meaning, more connection, more truth. That ache is holy. It's the echo of eternity inside your chest. Don't silence it. Let it guide you. I placed it there not to torment you, but to lead you into a life that reflects my beauty. You've tasted what it's like to feel lost. You've lived through seasons where even prayer felt like silence. But look at you now, still here, still searching, still believing even if your belief wavers. That matters more than you know. You have not failed me. You've come closer. I'd rather have your broken hallelujah than your polished silence. I'd rather hear your questions than see you pretend. You don't need to impress me. Just bring me what you have. I have seen the way you carry burdens for others. You hold their pain in your hands like a sacred trust. You speak kindness when no one else does. You love deeply, even when it goes unnoticed. And I have been keeping record, not to reward you with applause, but to remind you, I see everything. Every time you forgave when you could have fought back. Every time you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. That is what love looks like. That is what strength looks like. That is what faith, real faith, is made of. Now I want to speak directly into the ache you've tried to hide. The one that comes when you wonder if anything you've given has been worth it. When you look around and think others are farther ahead, reaping what you haven't yet seen. I understand. But listen to me now, your harvest is not lost. I am the Lord of the soil and the seed. What you sow in tears, you will reap in joy. What you've given in secret, I will return in abundance. But not always in the way you expect. My blessings are not always loud. They are lasting. You are not late. You are not behind. My timing is not measured by clocks or calendars. It's measured by hearts. And your heart is ready now in a way it wasn't before. The delay was not punishment. It was preparation. I've been shaping your character, not withholding your destiny, because I love you too much to send you into something unready to hold it. But now the shift is coming. The doors are being touched by my hand. And you'll see what happens when I open something no man can shut. Do not mistake the silence of the past season for absence. I was there. I was teaching you how to walk when the music stopped, how to praise when the answer didn't come, how to trust me not for what I do, but for who I am. That kind of faith is unshakable. And now that you have it, you are ready to receive more than you asked for. Not just externally, but internally, peace, clarity, joy that isn't tied to outcomes. You'll be able to say, I lack nothing, even before the provision arrives, because you've learned that my presence is the provision. There is someone watching you now, someone close, someone quiet. They see your faith, and though they don't say it, it's stirring something in them. Your obedience is unlocking courage in others. Your journey is inspiring someone else to hope again. You may not realize it, but you are already a light, already a witness, already making a difference simply by choosing to believe in a world that doesn't always understand belief. That is how my kingdom works. One faithful heart at a time, changing the atmosphere. And soon, that atmosphere will shift around you. You'll wake up and feel it. The heaviness gone, the fog lifting, the fear losing its grip. Not because everything around you changed, but because you changed. Your mind will be renewed. Your words will be filled with life. Your days, once shadowed by dread, will be wrapped in purpose. You won't walk with uncertainty, but with assurance. You won't speak from wounds, but from wisdom. This is the renewal I'm bringing, and it's real, it's lasting, it's yours. So when doubt whispers, you're not ready, answer with this truth. I don't have to be ready, I just have to be willing. When fear says, what if it fails? Respond, then I'll fall in the arms of a God who never lets go. You are not responsible for the outcome, only for the obedience, and that you've already chosen. So now get ready. Because what's been held back is being released. Not by effort, not by force, but by favor. And you, beloved, are covered in it. You've grown used to surviving, to getting through the day, to calling it a victory just to make it to evening without breaking. But I didn't create you to live at the edge of collapse. I formed you for fullness, for a life where peace is not a momentary guest, but a permanent resident. And now I'm calling you to shift, not just in how you pray, but in how you believe, how you see yourself, how you walk into every room with the quiet confidence of someone deeply loved by God. This isn't a call to hustle harder. You've done that already. You've worn yourself thin trying to hold everything together, trying to be enough for everyone, trying to balance hope and exhaustion. I don't want your exhaustion. I want your heart. I don't need your performance. I desire your presence. I want the version of you that's real, the one you hide when you feel unworthy. That's the one I cherish. That's the one I died to redeem. Let's stop pretending you have to earn every blessing. You don't. I don't give gifts based on merit. I give them based on love. And my love for you is not up for debate. It's not withdrawn when you stumble. It doesn't weaken when you feel numb. It doesn't retreat when your prayers grow quiet. I am not fragile and I am not fickle. I am faithful. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. And that's who I will continue to be, your anchor, your defender, your covering. Do you see now why I kept you through the storms? Why I preserved you when everything said you wouldn't make it? It wasn't because you were lucky. It was because you are chosen. Not chosen for ease, but for impact. Not chosen for perfection, but for purpose. You've been walking through fire, not to be consumed, but to come out refined. And even now, as you glance at the scars, wondering what good they could serve, I'm showing you, those scars are sacred. They are not signs of defeat, they are proof of survival. And they carry a message, a testimony, a light that others will follow. I have given you authority, even if you don't feel like it. Not the kind the world seeks, loud, aggressive, self-serving, but holy authority. The kind that walks into tension and brings peace. The kind that speaks life over decay. The kind that calls dry bones to rise and actually believes they will. You've been quiet for too long, thinking your voice didn't matter. But I created your voice with power. It's time to use it. Not to argue, not to impress, but to declare truth into spaces that have been gasping for breath. Start with yourself. Speak to your own soul. Remind it who you belong to. Speak light over your thoughts. Speak peace over your fears. I've given you access to a language of heaven, words that heal, that restore, that shift atmospheres. You don't need to be a preacher to prophesy life. Every word laced with love, every sentence bathed in grace, every truth you speak to yourself or someone else. That's how heaven moves. That's how chains fall. That's how freedom begins. And freedom is exactly what I'm releasing over you now. Freedom from shame. Freedom from anxiety. Freedom from the narrative that says you're too far gone or too late to the promise. You are right on time. You are standing on sacred ground. And if you listen closely, you'll hear it. Not with your ears, but with your spirit. The shift, the release, the breaking open of things you thought were sealed forever. I'm not just restoring your hope, I'm resurrecting your purpose. This purpose doesn't look like platform or prestige. It looks like presence, like kindness in the mundane, like integrity when no one is watching, like faith that wakes up and chooses to believe even when circumstances haven't caught up yet. The life I'm calling you into won't always look impressive, but it will always be impactful. You'll see it in the way hearts soften around you, in the way peace follows your presence, in the way people begin to feel safe again just being near your spirit. You are not just meant to be healed, you are meant to be a healer. You are not just meant to be restored, you are meant to restore. What you've received, you will now pour out. Not from pressure, but from overflow. Because I will fill you daily. My word will be your bread. My spirit will be your water. And when the world pulls at you with its needs and its noise, you won't burn out. You'll pour from a cup that never runs dry. I'm reteaching you how to live, how to rest without guilt, how to love without fear, how to receive without shame. You thought being strong meant always doing, always fixing, always leading. But real strength sometimes looks like letting go. Real strength sometimes means sitting in silence and letting my presence hold you. And that, beloved, is what I'm inviting you into now. A season of being held. A season where the pressure lifts and the peace remains. The people around you may not understand this shift. Let them wonder. Let them question. You don't owe them an explanation for your healing. Some will see your peace and be drawn to it. Others will misunderstand it. Either way, your job is not to convince them. Your job is to carry the light. Just walk in what I've spoken. Live in what I've revealed. Trust that I will do the rest. Because I will. I always do. You've been faithful with little. And now I am preparing to entrust you with more. Not more for the sake of status. Not more for recognition. But more of what lasts. More wisdom, more clarity, more authority, more peace. You've waited long in the shadows, and the waiting has shaped you. It has stripped away the unnecessary. It has purified your motives. And now what remains is gold refined by fire. I can use that. I will use that. And I will multiply what you thought was small. You see the fragments, scattered dreams, missed chances, the pieces of what once was. I see the whole picture. Nothing is lost to me. I gather every shard, every forgotten prayer, every broken promise made to you by people who couldn't keep them. I take them and I rebuild with them. Not in the same shape, not in the way you expected, but in a way that honors who you are now, not just who you were then. I build forward, not backward. And I do not waste anything surrendered to me. So surrender again. Not just your pain. Surrender your hopes. Trust me with the parts of you that still dare to believe. I know it's risky. I know it costs something to hope again. But it's safe here. You are not hoping in chance, you are hoping in me. And I do not disappoint. When I delay, it is to deepen. When I withhold, it is to protect. When I speak, it is to create. And when I move, it is to complete what I've begun. There is movement in your life even now. The things that felt stuck are beginning to shift. The thoughts that kept you captive are unraveling. The cycles that once defined you are breaking. This is not the result of striving. It's the result of surrender. I'm lifting burdens that were never yours to carry. I'm removing weights that slowed your spirit. You've prayed for change, and now I'm transforming not just your situation, but your capacity. You're going to handle what used to overwhelm you. You're going to speak peace where you once panicked. You are no longer defined by your failures. Your identity is not rooted in who left, what broke, or what you lost. You are not the labels others placed on you. You are not the voice of your inner critic. You are not the echoes of the past. You are who I say you are. And I say you are mine, chosen, called, covered. The same voice that called stars into the sky now calls you beloved. That is your name now, not forgotten, not disqualified, not barely surviving. Beloved, you've asked for signs. I understand. Your heart wants reassurance. And because I know how much that means to you, I will send them, not always the way you expect, but in ways that touch you deeply. A conversation that reaches your heart. A scripture that speaks exactly to your moment. A peace that makes no sense in the middle of pressure. These are my signs. These are the brushstrokes of a God painting beauty on the walls of your ordinary days. Do not despise the small moments. The world chases the grand, the dramatic, the loud. But I often work in the quiet. I often heal through stillness. I often speak in whispers that only those who slow down can hear. And you are learning to slow down, to be present, to stop running from yourself. You are beginning to live from the inside out, and that is where true transformation begins. This month, I'm rewiring how you think. Not just giving you new thoughts, but new patterns, new instincts, new default responses. Where there used to be fear, I'm placing courage. Where there was bitterness, I'm placing compassion. Where there was worry, I'm placing wisdom. Your spirit is being trained to trust, so that peace becomes your first reaction, not your last resort. This is not behavior modification. This is soul restoration. You've prayed to see change in your home, and I've heard you. I am moving behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet trace. Don't measure progress only by what's visible. Some healing begins beneath the surface, like seeds buried in earth. Silent, hidden, but unstoppable. Keep watering with your prayers. Keep showing up with kindness. Keep living out the peace I've given you. What you model will take root. What you speak in love will echo longer than you know. Let go of needing it to happen fast. I'm not slow. I'm strategic. I don't rush because I'm never late. And you are not waiting in vain. You are being positioned. You are being equipped. You are being refined so that when I bring the fullness, you will recognize it and walk in it without fear. Your future is not something to be feared. It's something to be welcomed. And I go before you into every unknown. There is no enemy stronger than my word spoken over your life. No failure greater than my grace. No loss deeper than the love I've wrapped around your days. You are not beyond repair. You are not stuck. You are being made new. Every time you turn your heart toward me, even with trembling hands, I move with power. I never meet your weakness with disappointment. I meet it with mercy. And I meet it with fire, the holy kind that burns away what isn't needed and lights the way forward. So rise today, not in arrogance but in awareness. You are not the same as you were. The wilderness did not destroy you. It awakened you. The silence didn't steal your voice. It refined it. And now you will speak with authority. You will love without fear. You will stand in the places you once stumbled and call them holy. For I have been with you all along. And I am not done. You've come far, farther than you think. Not just in the visible, but in the places no one else sees. You've come through silent battles, walked out of fears that once paralyzed you, and shed lies that were once tattooed on your mind. You've been learning to breathe differently, not with panic, but with peace. And while the world may not celebrate these quiet victories, heaven does. I do. Because every step you've taken has been leading you toward wholeness. And now, I'm inviting you into more than just restoration. I'm inviting you into release. There are things you've carried long enough. Stories that replayed on a loop, not because you wanted them to, but because pain taught them to stay. But listen closely. It's time to release them. Not because they weren't real. Not because they didn't hurt. But because they're no longer meant to define you. What happened to you will never outweigh what I'm about to do in you. The pages written in sorrow will be followed by chapters soaked in purpose. You don't have to erase the past to move forward, but you do have to stop bowing to it. You're not the same person you were when that wound was inflicted. You're not the same person who once settled for less because it felt safer. You're not the same soul who doubted every good thing that came your way. My spirit has been transforming you, layer by layer, slowly and faithfully, like dawn melting night. And now, you're stepping into something sacred. Identity, not borrowed from others' opinions, but built from my truth. Not shaped by rejection, but rooted in love. It's time to walk like you belong, to live like you are deeply known and divinely protected. Not with arrogance, but with the quiet boldness of someone who has been claimed by heaven. You're not chasing validation, you've already been spoken for. I have placed my name upon you, and with that name comes covering, authority, peace. You don't need to prove yourself when you know who you are. You don't need to strive when you know who's walking beside you. You've questioned whether you were strong enough for what I've placed in your heart. Let me answer you now. You don't need to be strong enough on your own. You never did. You were never designed to carry divine vision with human strength. That's why I gave you my spirit, not to observe you from a distance, but to dwell within you, to empower you, to guide you when the way feels hidden and the cost feels high. And yes, the cost is real, but so is the reward. And I promise you it will be worth it. You've sown with tears. Now, get ready to reap in joy. But don't expect the harvest to always look the way you pictured it. My blessings rarely follow the blueprints of your expectations. Sometimes they come through detours. Sometimes they rise through doors you didn't knock on. Stay open. Stay surrendered. I'm not just answering your prayers. I'm exceeding them. But to see that, you have to stop looking for old signs in new places. I'm doing a new thing. Look closely, it's already beginning. Do not return to old versions of yourself just to make others comfortable. The version of you that's rising now was crafted in my presence, not in the court of public opinion. You've outgrown environments that once felt like home. That's okay. I'm not calling you to dishonor your past. I'm calling you to outgrow it. And growth often requires release. Let go with grace. Forgive deeply. Bless and move forward. What I have for you cannot fit inside the spaces you've outlived. And no, you don't need to know every detail before you move. You don't need a full map, just a faithful heart. I've never required clarity for obedience. I've only ever asked for trust. Trust that when I say go, I've already gone before you. Trust that when I say wait, I'm not punishing you. I'm preparing what's next so you won't walk into it half-formed. I know what's on the other side, and it's too valuable to rush. You're not in delay. You're in divine alignment. Stop apologizing for the calling I placed on your life. Stop second-guessing what I confirmed in the quiet. If I told you you're meant to lead, believe it. If I placed healing in your hands, use it. If I gave you a voice that carries my truth, don't bury it just to blend in. The world doesn't need a muted version of you. It needs the Spirit-empowered you. The one who's been refined by grace, rebuilt by hope, restored by mercy. You were born for such a time as this, and I am standing with you. So rise without fear. Love without a backup plan. Give even when it feels risky. And walk into this month with a posture of expectation. You're not begging for scraps. You're walking into your inheritance. You're not chasing a dream. You're fulfilling a destiny. And though the process hasn't been easy, it's been sacred. Every trial had a purpose. Every tear planted something eternal. And now, what's been growing in silence is about to bloom in plain sight. You will not be shaken. Not because the world has grown gentler, but because your foundation is deeper. I have built you on rock, not sand. On truth, not trends. On presence, not performance. And when the winds rise again, and they will, you will stand firm. Not just for your sake, but for the sake of those who watch you and see what it looks like to be held by heaven. That's what your life is becoming. A living testimony. A walking miracle. A daily invitation for others to believe again. And through it all, I remain. Not watching from afar, but walking every step beside you. Not waiting at the finish line, but present in every moment. Especially the hard ones. You will never be alone. Not even for a breath. Look at where you are now. Not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally. You've walked through fires that could have broken you, and instead, you've become more radiant. You didn't just survive what was meant to silence you. You learned to speak with more compassion, more wisdom, more authority. That is not by accident. It is evidence of my hand upon your life. You are not the same as you once were, and that is a miracle in itself. There were moments you thought your silence meant failure. Moments you withdrew and wondered if you were fading. But no, you were not fading, you were forming. I was pulling you inward, not to isolate, but to insulate. To shield you long enough for the wounds to close, for the lies to die off, for your heart to finally learn the difference between stillness and abandonment. And now, because you didn't run from the silence, you've gained something sacred: discernment. You no longer need to respond to everything that stirs chaos. You no longer have to prove your peace. You know now that sometimes the holiest answer is quiet trust. Sometimes the most courageous move is stillness. And that, beloved, is strength, restraint led by wisdom, power guided by grace. I have taught you not only how to rise, but how to stay grounded when you do. And in that grounding, I am now planting new things. Not ideas born from pressure or comparison, but purpose flowing from peace. I want you to know the difference between momentum that's manufactured and momentum that's anointed. The world pushes you to hurry, to keep up, to constantly produce. But I'm leading you into a rhythm that does not rush. A rhythm that listens. A rhythm that builds with eternity in mind. This is not a race, it's a revelation. And I will teach you how to walk it well. There is more wisdom available to you now. Not the kind that simply makes you look intelligent, but the kind that saves your time, protects your peace, and honors your calling. I am increasing your awareness, not just of what is right, but of what is timely. Not just what is good, but what is godly. You'll start seeing decisions differently, not through the lens of fear, but through the eyes of someone who knows they're backed by heaven. And yes, I know you've struggled with fear. I've seen how it still lingers at the edge of your decisions. But fear is not your master. Not anymore. Can knock, but you no longer need to answer. You've heard my voice and it's louder. You've tasted my presence and it's better. You've glimpsed the life I've promised, and there's no going back. You've stood too close to glory to settle for counterfeit peace. And when fear returns dressed as logic, trying to rationalize why you shouldn't hope, or why you should protect your heart by shrinking your vision, remember this: fear always pretends to protect, but it only ever steals. You've given it enough time. Now take your time back. Take your voice back. Take your joy back. I've restored you not to hide you, but to reveal what I've cultivated in the secret place. What's rising in you now is not just a dream. It's a divine assignment. You're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic when you feel like something bigger is coming. You're discerning it, because I placed it in your spirit before it ever entered your thoughts. And though it still seems too big, that's because it's not meant to fit inside your comfort zone. It's meant to stretch you, to deepen your trust, and to activate others through your obedience. Don't worry about how. Just say yes. I'll handle the doors. I'll align the people. I'll prepare the provision. I don't call you to carry the whole vision alone. I invite you to partner with me. And when you walk with me, there will be miracles you didn't plan for, help you didn't ask for, breakthroughs you didn't think were possible. That's how I work, not just through effort, but through divine orchestration. And even if opposition comes, do not panic. Some resistance is not rejection. It's confirmation that you're walking in authority. When you move in faith, darkness will notice. But you need not fear. You are covered. You are surrounded. You are saturated in a glory that can't be undone. The battle isn't whether the blessing will come. It's whether you'll believe long enough to see it. And you will. You've always been stronger than you thought. But this isn't just strength. It's transformation. You've been renewed from the inside out. Not just patched up. Not just temporarily inspired. You've been made new. And you'll start to see how much has changed when you return to the same places and respond differently. When the same voices no longer hold power. When the same distractions no longer pull you. That's not detachment. It's growth. That's not indifference. It's healing. This kind of change isn't loud. It's holy. It doesn't announce itself. It settles in and shifts everything quietly. That's what I'm doing in you. A holy recalibration. A divine realignment. You'll notice it in how you breathe, how you pray, how you move through the day with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they're not alone. And when others ask, "What happened to you?" just smile. because you'll know it wasn't a trend. It wasn't just a phase. It was me. I called you, carried you, I healed you, I awakened you, and now I'm sending you. You've been set apart for something sacred. That's why you never quite fit where others were content to stay. That's why your spirit stirred while others settled. You've tried to quiet the calling, to blend in, to make your journey easier to explain. But the truth is, I never meant for you to fit. I designed you to stand out, not with noise or performance, but with presence. With love that interrupts pain. With peace that disarms chaos. With light that doesn't ask permission to shine. So stop apologizing for the way I made you. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable with your conviction. You weren't called to walk in circles, you were called to carry change. That's why your life feels different. It's because it is. And that difference is not your burden, it's your blessing. I've placed something within you that doesn't make sense to the world. But it will make all the sense in heaven. The way you love, the way you endure, the way you keep showing up when others walk away, that's heaven's fingerprint on your soul. You carry something holy, even when you don't feel it, even when your hands tremble, even when you question if you're enough. I never called you because of your qualifications. I called you because of your heart, your desire to love when it's hard, to believe when it's quiet, to forgive when it hurts. That heart, beloved, is the soil of miracles. That heart is why I'm moving in ways you haven't even seen yet. And soon you will. You'll wake to moments that feel different, more aligned, more open. The delays will break. The fog will lift. The answers will come, not because you chased them, but because you stayed faithful when they were hidden. That's the kind of obedience I honor, not the flashy kind, but the steady kind. The kind that says, even if nothing changes today, I will still trust you. You've trusted me through silence, and now I will speak in power. There is territory that's been waiting for you to arrive. Not just physical ground, but relational, emotional, spiritual spaces that have been assigned to your presence. And as you step into them, what was once chaotic will begin to calm. Not because you're perfect, but because you're carrying my presence. You've prayed for open doors. Now prepare to walk through them with courage. No more questioning whether you belong. No more wondering if you're ready. You are. Not because everything is figured out, but because I'm with you. And that has always been enough. You'll know when to speak and when to stay silent. When to step forward and when to stand still. This is what walking with me looks like. Not constant activity, but constant awareness. You won't need to chase validation. My voice will be enough. My presence will be your compass. And your life will begin to reflect something deeper than success. It will reflect surrender. People will notice, not because you try to impress them, but because peace follows you into every room. And when resistance comes, as it surely will, do not retreat. You are not fragile. You are not here by accident. You were born for this. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives within you. And that spirit does not fear failure. That spirit does not shrink from opposition. That spirit walks with power, but loves with gentleness. That spirit is alive in you. Let it lead. Let it teach. Let it awaken everything you thought was lost. You're not going back. You've crossed something sacred, a threshold in your spirit. You may still walk the same streets, but your steps are different. You may see the same faces, but your vision has shifted. You don't carry bitterness anymore. You carry breakthrough. You don't react the same way, you respond with grace. And that's not a performance. That's a result of presence, mine, with you, in you, around you. There are people watching you quietly. Some are doubting you. Others are hoping for you. And a few are learning from you, even if they never say it out loud. That's okay. Your job isn't to be understood. It's to be obedient. I'll take care of the rest. I'll handle the impact. I'll carry your words beyond your reach. I'll multiply your influence in ways you didn't plan. And I'll protect your heart as I do it. You've been praying for purpose. You've been asking for clarity. Now I ask you, are you ready to let go of the small story to step into the bigger one I've written? It won't always feel comfortable, but it will feel right. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll feel it in the tears that fall when your spirit says yes before your mind has the words. That's how you'll know it's me, drawing you deeper, calling you higher, whispering, "Now is the time." I am not rushing you. I'm revealing you, slowly, carefully, purposefully. And as you continue to walk with me, what once felt too big will begin to feel familiar. The rooms that used to intimidate you will feel like assignment, not accident. The conversations you used to avoid will become invitations to speak with love. The patterns you've battled will break, not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. So hold your head high, not with pride, but with peace. You're not who you used to be, and you're not going where you used to go. The path ahead is holy. The moments coming are divine, and everything you've walked through has prepared you for what's next. I am not finished. I never was. You've spent much of your life asking what I wanted from you. But let me show you something deeper. It's not just about what I want from you. It's about what I want for you. I want you to live free, not half alive, not bound by fear or approval or history, but fully, completely, wholly alive in the truth that you are mine. I want your soul to rest even in motion. I want your hands to work with joy, not pressure. I want your heart to wake each morning without dread chasing its heels. I want your life to be a reflection, not a performance. A living echo of grace, not a desperate cry for acceptance. You've searched for so long, trying to earn your place, trying to prove your worth, trying to stay small enough not to be heard again. But look at how I see you, bold, ready, worthy, not because you checked every box, but because I've already declared you chosen. And what I speak becomes truth. There's no part of your journey that I've wasted. Not the broken pieces, not the quiet years, not the waiting seasons that felt like exile. All of it was preparation, not punishment, preparation. The shaping happened in secret so your roots would hold when your fruit began to show. I wasn't rushing the outcome because I was forming the foundation. And now, what I've planted in the hidden is ready to rise in the light. You're going to start seeing your life from a higher view, no longer just as a list of events, but as a narrative soaked in redemption. You'll see how the very places you wanted to escape are now the places you'll carry wisdom into. How the moments that nearly broke you have become the keys to unlock healing for others. I waste nothing, and I never write endings without planting beginnings inside them. There's more for you. Not just more success or more achievement, but more depth, more meaning, more presence. You've been tasting it lately, that sense that something is unfolding within you. That's not imagination. That's revelation. The curtain is lifting, not on a performance, but on purpose. And you're not stepping into a spotlight, you're stepping into a calling. Not something fragile, not something you'll need to protect. Something that's been built to last. I'm not giving you influence so you can be seen. I'm giving you influence so others can see me through you. Your words won't be about status, they'll carry spirit. Your actions won't need validation, they'll carry weight. And your presence won't seek control, it will carry peace. You won't need to convince people of anything. You'll simply live in a way that invites them home. Let go of the fear that says, "What if I fail?" You've already failed in some places. And yet, here you are, still chosen, still covered, still called. So what if the world sees your imperfections? I see your heart, and I'm not ashamed of your process. In fact, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the times you tried again. I'm proud of the nights you cried and still believed. I'm proud of how you love, how you listen, how you lean in even when you don't understand. I never needed you to be perfect. I needed you to be present, to let me lead, to trust me even when the plan doesn't feel clear. And that trust, it's what makes the impossible possible. It's what causes doors to open, walls to fall, fears to lose their grip. It's what multiplies the little you thought wouldn't be enough and turns it into overflow. And yes, overflow is what I'm preparing for you. But it won't come through striving. It'll come through surrender. That's the rhythm I'm teaching you now. The rhythm of heaven. The rhythm that doesn't run from silence but listens in it. That doesn't compete for love, but rests in it. That doesn't rush into decisions, but waits with wisdom. You're learning that power doesn't always look loud, and that peace is often the loudest thing in the room. You'll find yourself less reactive and more rooted, less driven by urgency and more grounded in eternity. You'll begin to notice how much lighter you feel. Not because everything is easy, but because you've stopped carrying what wasn't yours. You'll feel it when you walk into rooms and no longer shrink. When you open your mouth and don't filter your light. When you love without flinching, without fear of being misunderstood. Let that love grow. Let it become the rhythm of your relationships, the foundation of your decisions, the language of your life. There's power in love that does not require applause. Power in compassion that is not performative. And you, beloved, were created to walk in that kind of power. The kind that looks like mercy. The kind that looks like truth spoken gently but unshakably. The kind that changes things not by force, but by presence. And through it all, I will be with you. Not just watching, not just cheering, but guiding, holding, breathing through every moment. You'll sense me in the quiet, in the decisions you make with peace instead of panic, in the moments when you feel unsure, but move forward anyway. I'm not walking beside you so you can perform. I'm walking with you because I delight in you. You don't have to earn my nearness. You just have to notice it. So lean in. You're not losing your way, you're learning to walk in a new one. Not alone. Not unsure, but with the one who called you, formed you, loved you long before you ever knew how to love yourself. And this journey is just beginning. We're not done yet. You're not walking through this season alone. Not now, not ever. Even when it feels like no one truly understands the weight you carry or the prayers you whisper in the dark. I do. I've walked with you through every silent hallway, sat beside you in every sleepless hour, held your breath when it trembled with hope and hesitation. I've seen what others overlooked. I've heard what others ignored. And every time you wondered if you were unseen, I was closer than your next heartbeat. Watching, holding, whispering, I'm still here. There is a strength in you now that wasn't there before. A quiet strength. Not loud, not brash, steady. Forged not through victory, but through perseverance. The kind of strength that wakes up tired and chooses trust anyway. The kind that listens when it's easier to run. That forgives when it hurts. That speaks peace into chaos, even when your own soul is still learning what peace feels like. You've learned to walk with me, not just when the sun shines, but when the clouds stay longer than expected. That's when faith grows roots. And yours run deep now. You don't have to force what I've already promised. You don't have to beg for what's already yours. You simply need to receive. That's hard, I know. You've spent so long giving, fixing, holding it all together that it feels unnatural to just open your hands and say, Lord, I trust you. But that's the place I'm leading you into now, the sacred ground of surrender, not as defeat, but as inheritance. You are my child. You are not asking for scraps. You are receiving the fullness of what was always meant for you. So rest, not in the absence of effort, but in the presence of assurance. I've gone before you. I've made the path. What seems uncertain to you is completely known to me. I'm not making plans. I've already made them. I'm not reacting to circumstances. I'm redeeming them. And what you think is delay is often divine positioning. You are not off track. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to receive exactly what I've prepared. The noise around you may try to convince you otherwise. The pressure to move faster, to build bigger, to prove more, it will come. But your peace will not come from pace or performance. It will come from presence. My presence. And you'll find it in the quiet, not just in church or in your prayers, but in the smallest moments. When you pause before speaking, when you breathe before rushing, when you let go before you're sure what's next. That's where I live, with you, in you, for you. This next season won't require more hustle. It will require more holiness, more sensitivity to my voice, more boldness in obedience, more willingness to release what doesn't align with where I'm leading you. I know that's not always easy. Some things you've held felt like safety, but I'm not calling you to safe. I'm calling you to sacred. To build a life not rooted in applause but in purpose. A life that carries glory, not just gifts. And yes, you are gifted. You've been wondering if your voice matters. It does. You've questioned whether your life makes an impact. It does. What you carry, your story, your strength, your softness. It all matters. You don't need a stage to shine. You don't need a title to serve. You don't need permission to love. You've been given all authority to bring light wherever you go. So go, with confidence, with humility, with expectation. The people you're called to bless may never say it out loud, but they'll feel it. Your words will reach their wounds. Your presence will shift their atmosphere. Your faith will give them courage when theirs is fading. You won't always know the full ripple effect of your obedience, but I do. And I promise, not one act of love will return void. Not one moment of faithfulness will go unnoticed in heaven. You are planting things that will outlive you, and what you plant in faith I will water in power. You don't need to compare your journey anymore. What I'm doing in you is not meant to match what I'm doing in anyone else. It's personal, it's holy, and it's timed perfectly. Stop asking why others seem farther ahead. Start asking what I want to grow in you right now, because what's growing in you is different, and it's necessary, and it's powerful, and when it's ready, it will emerge with such clarity that even you will be surprised by how right it feels. You've asked me for doors. I've heard you, but now I ask you for the courage to walk through them when they open, because they will, and they won't all look like you expected. Some will come quietly, dressed as everyday moments. Others will open boldly and demand your full yes. Either way, I will be there, and you will know. Not because the way is easy, but because your spirit will say, "This is it." Trust that feeling, that knowing. It's not pressure, it's presence. And when you step into those places, do it without fear. You don't need to explain your yes to everyone. Not everyone will understand what I've asked of you, but that's okay. Obedience isn't about consensus. It's about faith. And yours is pleasing to me. You don't need to convince anyone else to see what I've already revealed to you. Just keep walking, keep trusting, keep moving in step with grace. I'm with you, always, in every step, in every silence, in every yes, in every unknown. You're not just walking toward a promise. You're walking with the promise maker, and that is more than enough. I've been preparing you, not just to receive blessings, but to become one. You've prayed for doors, for direction, for favor. But what I've been building in you runs deeper than opportunity. I've been forming a life that is the answer to someone else's prayer. You're not just waiting for a breakthrough, you are one. You're not just standing in line for a miracle, you're carrying one inside you. And when the time is right, what I've hidden in your heart will rise into the open, undeniable in its beauty, unstoppable in its purpose. This next chapter is about fruit, visible fruit, lasting fruit, the kind that doesn't fade with applause or vanish in adversity, the kind that can be tasted by those around you and still remain full, love that doesn't tire, patience that doesn't wear thin, joy that isn't shaken by circumstances, peace that stays when plans change. This is what I'm forming in you. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it is powerful. And it is what will mark your life from this point forward. You will be known not by your perfection, but by your presence. Not by how much you accomplish, but by how deeply you love. Not by how many follow you, but by how faithfully you follow me. That's the path of greatness in my kingdom. Not the path of climbing, but of serving. Not of proving, but of surrendering. And the more you lean into this, the more you will see that what I've written over your life is far more beautiful than anything you tried to build without me. You are stepping into a rhythm where you no longer feel the need to rush, where you no longer panic when plans change, where you no longer measure your worth by productivity. Instead, you'll start to sense the sacredness in the ordinary. You'll see miracles in moments you used to overlook. You'll begin to live wide awake, not in exhaustion, but in expectancy. Because you'll know, deep in your bones, that I am with you, and nothing around you needs to change for that to be true. And when the fruit begins to show, when people start to notice the change, the light, the wisdom, remember where it came from. It didn't come from striving. It didn't come from being loud or liked. It came from intimacy, from our quiet moments, from the times you could have quit but chose to stay, from the tears you turned into prayers, from the surrender you gave even when you didn't understand what I was doing. That's where fruit grows, in trust, in faith, in obedience. You don't need to chase influence. You don't need to manufacture impact. Just keep walking in step with me. I'll take care of where your feet land. I'll take care of how far your voice travels. I'll take care of the lives your story touches. And some of those lives may never tell you. You may never hear the full echo of your obedience while you're here. But one day you'll see it, and it will be worth every yes. You'll begin to attract peace, not because you've solved everything, but because you've surrendered what you can't control. You'll carry a stillness that confuses people who are used to panic. You'll radiate trust even when the future is unknown. That's not personality. It's presence. My presence. Living in you. Overflowing through you. Changing the atmosphere around you not with noise, but with quiet authority. And the more you walk in this, the less room there will be for fear. You've already seen fear begin to lose its grip. You've already watched anxiety loosen its hold. Keep going. Let those things fall behind as you step fully into identity. The kind that doesn't change with circumstance. The kind that doesn't break under pressure. The kind that's rooted in who I say you are, not what others say you must be. This is maturity. This is depth. This is the shift from being built by applause to being sustained by truth. You won't need everyone to understand your process. You won't need permission to keep growing. You'll start making decisions not based on pressure, but on peace. You'll say no to what looks good so you can say yes to what is God. You'll be steady, not perfect but present, not striving but sent. And yes, you'll still face hard days. But even there, you'll carry a new language. You'll speak life into silence. You'll speak hope into heaviness. You'll say things like, I'm tired, but I'm not quitting. Or, I'm hurting, but I still believe. And the heavens will recognize that as praise. Because that kind of faith moves mountains. That kind of praise shifts atmospheres. That kind of trust draws me close. You're not just stepping into a new season. You're stepping into a new stature. The spiritual weight you carry now isn't burdensome. It's holy. You've been trusted with truth. You've been entrusted with grace. And now, as you walk this out, your life will not just reflect transformation. It will spark it in others. So walk with boldness. You are no longer hidden. You are not waiting for something to begin. It's already begun. I've already gone ahead. And I'll keep walking with you until the seeds you planted in faith become harvests that feed generations. You've spent so much of your life asking if you're really ready. Ready to step out, ready to speak, ready to lead, ready to love without fear. But listen to me now. Readiness was never meant to be a feeling. It was meant to be a response. And you've already responded. You've kept showing up, even when you didn't feel strong. You've kept praying, even when answers were delayed. You've kept hoping, even when your heart was tired. That is readiness. That is faith. And that is what I will bless. You don't have to wait for every detail to line up before you take the next step. I'm not asking you to understand the whole journey. I'm asking you to trust the one who does. When I call you forward, it's not to confuse you. It's to confirm that you're no longer who you were, that the old labels no longer fit, that the old fears no longer have authority. And when you walk into the future I've prepared, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed to be perfect to walk in purpose. You only needed to be willing. I'm doing things now that don't always feel visible, but they are deep. And soon, what's been growing quietly will emerge publicly. Others may call it sudden, but you'll know it wasn't sudden. It was sacred. It was years of refining, of healing, of choosing me when it would have been easier to run. It was moments when you said yes and no one else saw it. But I saw it. And every yes has been building something eternal. You're not waiting for favor. It's already resting on you. You're not waiting to be approved. I've already marked you. You're not waiting for clarity to trust. You're learning that trust is what brings clarity. And while others wait for permission, you're stepping forward in obedience. Quietly, boldly, fully mine. And yes, people may misunderstand. They might wonder why you've changed, why you no longer tolerate the same chaos, why your boundaries are different, your pace slower, your words more careful. Let them wonder. You don't need to explain growth. You don't need to justify peace. Maturity doesn't shout. It simply lives with intention. And the life you are now building, one of love, of listening, of spirit-led decisions, is the most powerful message you'll ever preach. You'll find yourself drawn to simplicity, to what's pure, to what heals. You'll crave depth instead of distraction. You'll start choosing what aligns with your calling instead of what fills a moment. That's not you changing on your own. That's my spirit leading you. And the more you follow that still, small voice, the louder it will become. Until it is your default. Until peace feels more familiar than panic. Until love feels more natural than fear. I am anchoring you not in comfort, but in conviction. You'll stand firm when others fall back. You'll speak truth when silence is easier. You'll carry joy into places that expect bitterness. And you won't need to try harder to be holy. You'll simply live from the truth that you already are. Not by your own effort, but by my grace. You are not becoming valuable, you already are. You are not chasing purpose, you're walking in it, step by sacred step. And I will provide for everything, every resource, every connection, every opportunity. I've already assigned provision to your obedience. You don't need to fear lack. You don't need to fear rejection. You don't need to fear what doors might close, because when I close one, it's to protect you, not punish you. And when I open one, no force in heaven or on earth will keep it shut. You've been faithful in quiet places. Now I will establish you in spaces of impact, not for your ego, but for my glory. And what I place in your hands, I will teach you how to steward, with joy, with balance, with the wisdom that comes not from striving, but from staying close to me. There is nothing I give that I don't also equip you to carry. You will not be overwhelmed. You will not be unprepared. I have already gone ahead. When the time comes, speak boldly, move freely, love deeply. You don't have to wait to be more of anything to be used. I've used broken vessels to carry living water. I've used quiet voices to shift nations. I've used outcasts to birth revival. And I will use you, not despite your past, but through it. Because when you walk in redemption, your scars become stories. Your pain becomes power. And your life becomes a reflection of a God who never let go. So take a deep breath. This is not the end of anything. It's the beginning of everything. Not because something dramatic is happening outside you, but because something unshakable has awakened within you. You are finally seeing yourself the way I've always seen you. Capable, called, cherished. And now everything changes. Not because you force it to, but because I've made it so. This is where you stop questioning who you are. This is where the wondering ends. Not because all your questions are answered, but because your foundation is now firm. You are mine. You have always been mine. And no wound, no word, no failure, no delay, no detour has ever changed that. I have not once looked away. I have not once forgotten you. Even when you drifted, even when you doubted, even when you chose fear over faith, I still called you. I still loved you, and I still do. You are stepping into a life that isn't ruled by reaction, but by revelation. You're not who you used to be. You don't respond the same way because you're not the same. You've been changed by presence, not pressure. You've been shaped by stillness, not just survival. And now, as you walk forward, you carry not just healing, but wholeness. Not just faith, but fire. Not just peace, but purpose. Don't wait for confirmation to live as though you've been called. You have been called. Don't wait for others to recognize what I've already anointed. You've been seen. And soon others will see it too. Not because you shout louder, but because your life will speak. It will speak in how you treat people, how you carry grace into tension, how you show up for those who are used to being forgotten. It will speak in your resilience, in your humility, in your joy that cannot be explained. That's what heaven looks like on earth. And that's what you carry now. You are no longer just hoping for a miracle. You are one, a miracle of mercy, a living sign that grace wins. That restoration is real. That identity can be reclaimed. And now that you know that, truly know it, nothing will move you the way it used to. The fear that once led your decisions will fall silent. The shame that once stalked your mind will lose its grip. The lie that said you're too late has been dismantled by truth. You're right on time. So walk boldly, Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is possible. Don't hold back anymore. Don't wait for a moment that feels more spiritual or more significant. This is holy ground. This is a divine moment. You're not stepping out hoping for favor, you're walking in it. You're not wondering if you're ready. You're realizing that I've made you ready in the hidden places. The preparation is complete. The stirring you feel now, that's release. That's confirmation. That's the sound of chains breaking and doors opening all at once. You will be amazed, not just by what I do through you, but by what I continue to do in you. There is still more to uncover, still more to reveal, still more to heal. But you're not behind, you're becoming. And the person you are now is not fragile. They are fortified, not by the world, but by my spirit. And that spirit will guide you, remind you, strengthen you, and uphold you when your own strength runs low. You've made it through wilderness seasons, and now you will plant in good soil. Not only will you harvest, you will teach others how to sow. You will speak not from theory, but from testimony. Not from borrowed words, but from lived truth. You will walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere, not by force but by peace. You will move through life as one who is led, not driven. Anchored, not shaken. Whole, not waiting to be fixed. This doesn't end with a single blessing. This is the beginning of a lifestyle of living awake, of living holy, of living free. You will no longer view your past with regret, but with reverence. Because now you see, every tear watered something eternal. Every scar became sacred. Every prayer was planted. And now you are walking in what was once only seen through the eyes of faith. Let others see the light and wonder where it came from. Let them ask. Let them feel the shift when you walk in. Not because you make a scene, but because you carry presence. That is your inheritance. That is your identity. You don't need to chase it. You are it. And every day from now you will remember. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not broken beyond repair. You are called. You are chosen. You are mine. And I am with you, not just in the beginning, not just at the end, but in every breath, every step, every yes. So go, with joy, with boldness, with peace. Go not to prove something, but to reveal someone. Me, in you, through you, with you, always.
You didn't just hear words. You heard the voice of the one who created you. The voice that still calms storms, still calls the weary home, still says, "You are mine." If your heart is stirring, don't silence it. This was for you. And it's just the beginning. Stay close. Keep listening. Because when Jesus speaks, everything changes.